So when you're in the template, you have all the different pages up here. So these are all the different pages that you can document into. History, present illness, risk factors, review of systems, past medical history, physical exam, procedures, interpretations and diagnostics, reevaluation and medical decision making, and the disposition page. So clicking into any of these will take you into the that section that's under the template. So in the HPI section, you'll notice that some have an asterisk by them. So these are called hard stops. These are required to be able to sign the chart. Something needs to be documented in these to be able to sign the chart at the end. Clicking on any of these lines will open up a submenu to the right. And you'll notice that it says OK next or OK. OK next will basically save your entry and take you to the next line and allow you to just get through the chart a little faster. So instead of clicking OK and clicking on the next line, another shortcut is the tab button on your keyboard is the same as OK next. So if we type in that this patient's PCP is Dr. Smith and I click tab, that saves the selection and takes me to the next line. And this is a pretty quick way to jump through the chart if you're clicking on things with your mouse with one hand and clicking tab with your other hand.
Yeah, we've noticed that, like Master's saying, is the mouse being on the right side and then your left hand basically being on that tab key. So just tab, transfer from nursing home to or rehab, tab, complaint, nausea, vomiting, tab, and so you're not going back and forth in terms of it, and so you can really get through that chart and get the elements that you need.
A little bit faster, yeah. So just going back to some of these submenus. So we're going to see a few different ways that these submenus are going to show up. So some of them are going to have this checkbox that you can click into and a comment box right under it, and some of them will look a little different with radio buttons saying reports or denies. So with a checkbox, you'll have all these checkboxes over here, and let's say this person got transferred from the nursing home, and you can type in the nursing home name over here, and this will put in a note under the selected line over here. So now we have a bubble designating a comment under this line over here. And this will be available for all the ones with checkboxes. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that the text boxes do have a limit, text character limit. So if you are typing something into one of these complaint or one of these sections that is longer than the text box comment, there will always be a dotted line at the very bottom here that you can click into, and it'll open up a bigger text box with unlimited space that you can type in as much as you want into there.
And a lot of people have a question about those dots. It's basically just so that everything's kind of aligned appropriately. If you click on that dot, it'll literally just put a dot into the actual note, and you really can't put a whole lot of information into it. It just gets it so that that dashed line is close to that comment box, and so that it's just in the similar area. That's the only reason for those dots.
So source of history will have a good amount of these, and if they're not specific enough and you do want to type in who the family member was, then you could either type it into here. Some of them will also have a drop-down menu that will give you selections, so you could say the wife or the husband gave the additional history. Just keep in mind that selecting another one will just replace the selected one, and if you do want to type in more than one and you inputted one, just put a comma in and type in the second family member or additional notes that you want to put in under that comment box. So associated symptoms, this is one of the ones that has the radio buttons versus the checkboxes. And just like Dr. Roach says, these dots are really just nothing there. So if you do want to say that this patient reports fever and you're highlighted here, you can say if it's subjective or measured at whatever. And that'll put a bubble right next to the fever, and the notes will just go directly under fever. And you can deny a few other things, and that'll pretty much answer all the questions there. Now, with any of those radio buttons, there isn't a dotted line that gives you the option to write in additional information. And again, these text boxes are limited, so you won't be able to type in more than text boxes. So the dotted line equivalent for these type of menus is going to be the next line. It'll always say additional, and it'll have whatever's up here, and then you can type in any additional information for associated symptoms, and we'll see this again in a few other menus later on. So you can either click on any of these pages up here to get to the next page, or use the page up, page down buttons on your keyboard if you're more keyboard friendly, just to get through the pages a little faster. So